Hey, this is Shirley.
And this is Christy. What's up?
And we're back in the house.
Yeah.
And we are here to chat and review My Hero Academia season 7, episode, I don't know, the first episode in season 7. I don't know what number we are on right now, but it is called Stars and Stripes. And yeah, we're back. We haven't reviewed in a while, and we were like, oh, we've seen a couple movies that we're gonna chat about in later episodes, and now we were like, My Hero is back, and we got to talk about My Hero. And Christy was like, let's do a review. And it's like,
and we're
okay.
asking ourselves, does this show, Stars and Stripes, live up to the hype?
Yes, it was going into Stars and Stripes because Stars and Stripes is basically America's #1 hero, and her name is Cassie, and they were mentored by All Might, because in Two Heroes, which is the first movie in My Hero Academia, which is on Netflix now. It's on Crunchyroll, but it's also on Netflix.
Really? I'm gonna watch it, even though I already saw it. But I need
Yeah,
to
we
watch
saw
it
it
again.
because like I have the DVDs and shit. Yeah. Yeah. The beginning, he's in college, like he's young in that like first movie, and he saves a little girl, who's with her sister in the car with their parents, and that little girl that's like holding her little sister in the car, and they get saved by a young All Might who's like in college and stuff. Is supposed to be Cassie. So there's like a connection, like the movies to the TV show. This is a loose connection.
It is the most adorable scene ever. She is such a cute little girl holding on to her sister.
And the funny thing is, she looked like she had brown hair. Did she color it blonde because All Might became her mentor?
Hello, of course. If All Might was in my life, I would definitely be trying to imitate him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Blonde hair, that's nothing.
That's her mentor. That's like, so it makes sense that she would be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be inspired by him because he saved my life, he saved my family's life, and now he's mentoring me, like, duh. And so she really does look like she is tall and huge. Like, she could step on me. I was like, damn, I like those big women. I was like, yes.
Definitely looks strong. I love that about
her. I love how My Hero has like different shaped women.
Yeah.
You know that? I like that.
I know.
Like that. I mean, I wish their writing was more stronger. That's definitely a criticism I have of My Hero, but yeah, the like the shapes and the like the how it shows, like, especially in the manga more than the anime. I noticed in the anime they make them a little bit more skinnier. I was like, come on now. But in the manga, like Horikoshi, who's the author, he draws them very like women have different body shapes. Yeah. So I really appreciate that.
And I like how he shows Stars and Stripes, because here in the US, like a woman who is very muscular, they tend in the media to kind of portray her as being masculine just because she's muscular.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So I thought it was very interesting how he chose to represent the US as being a strong woman with lots of muscles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's there's nothing wrong to be shown masculine more of your woman and stuff, but I do like that you could like the femininity of her, but also like the different facets of her, and like how strong she is, but also how like her body's big and it's tall, and it's just like, okay, that's just naturally her, and that's awesome, and I think she looks hot, so I'm just like, okay, let's go. But anyway, she could crush me, but but do
you want to be crushed by her though?
Yeah, I could, but I don't know. Her power was crazy. Let's go into her powers.
Yeah.
I remember when those chapters came out. I remember her powers being crazy, but I don't like know how to explain it. It was kind of confusing to me, and now watching the anime, I got it a little bit more. but still I'm like confused by it. But it sounds
Oh well,
fuck.
let's talk about
But
it.
it
Maybe
sounds
we
very
can
yeah. It
go through
sounds
it.
very OP. Like it's like crazy. It's a crazy ass power. So basically, I think she can control like what they were explaining. What Shigaraki was talking about was in the during their fight, and we'll get to that a little bit in a bit. Was that so she can control like if she says their name she can control the matter of things, right? Like
Right.
but it has to be living things, or is it not? I don't remember what it said.
I think it's non-living things. I
Is it
think
non-living
anything
things?
that it is matter and that takes a space, as long as she says a name, she can
Okay.
manipulate it.
Okay.
But she can only do how many?
Two.
Two at a time?
Yeah, two at a time. So that's how she could like because I think we the part where she gets huge like like a manifestation of her,
Yeah.
and then the part where she has like she controls the lasers. I guess that's two things she could do at once.
Two rules. So I
Two
think there's
rules.
two.
Yes, they're called rules because her oh my god, we didn't even name her power. Her power is called New Order. So it's like very OP. It's like again, she can control she could say the name and control non-living things. But I don't know. Yeah, that's what it was. Like the matter, right? Like you were
Yeah.
explaining and stuff.
I just think that.
But it looked like she could well,
Anyways, to her power, I was like so excited to see her use her powers because I was like, wow, if I had those powers, wouldn't I be dope? She is so cool. And that just gave me anxiety because I'm like, you know, this motherfucker's
you
gonna want to steal her power.
well, yeah, that was the whole point because during this fight, because Shigaraki's now out there and he goes to her when she's coming to Japan, because this is not a sanction. It's not from the United States. It's not sanctioned from the United States. So basically, she goes because hello, All Might's Japanese. Shit is going down in Japan. This is my master. This is my teacher. I gotta go help him. Like people are dying. So of course, um, she goes without getting like the support of United States. I'm assuming the government.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes off with her fellow other like military people, like a couple of them, and they take like fire fire jets or some shit like that. I don't remember what they're called. Right. I'm assuming that. I don't know military shit.
It's interesting how he comments on that the whole red tape stuff because that's really big here in the US.
I mean, you know, United States.
But anyways,
let's not even get
too political here.
Yeah, let's not get well, not right now, but let's not get into that because you know how they are. But they're awful. But yeah, so she goes and then of course to go fight Shigaraki. Shigaraki meets her halfway in the air, of course, and so Shigaraki, she's like she calls out his name and they're like and doing these powers like when she like controls the air to like stop him from breathing. I was like, holy shit, that shit is dope as hell.
Oh yeah.
And it was like because she called out his name because they know his name is Tomoe Shigaraki. But you have to realize, and you start realizing throughout the episode, that he is controlled by One for All. One for All is the master, the main big bad that All Might fought in like season 3. If you haven't watched season 3, and it was a dope ass fight. But he's the big main villain, and of course he has groomed and basically abused Shigaraki, and he's taken over his body to control him to get One for All, you know, Deku's power. So
and so when she said his name,
he stopped breathing. Like she she controlled the air.
She controlled, but when she said his name in
on the
fight,
second time,
she couldn't have control.
She couldn't, because she said his name the second time they were fighting, and she was trying to stop his heart, which I think is fucking crazy. How you like she's like, hey, Shirley Yanis, stop your heart. And you're like, oh shit. Like that's fucking OP as hell. That's crazy. But anyways, it doesn't end up working because again, he doesn't know who the hell he is because All for One is controlling him.
Yeah, I mean for me, I think that like even All for One is like I don't respond to that name. He doesn't respond to that name. And he doesn't also using off like his name, All for One wouldn't work either. So for me, I felt like they're creating a new identity. with Shigaraki and All for One coming together. That's my
Yeah.
perspective and on the whole
Yeah.
thing
No,
that
yeah,
happened there.
yeah. I mean, that's how.
But if you think that it's just because he's just All for One, and that makes sense too, that could also be the case. But I felt
No,
like
that's, I mean, that's how it is going, and the manga's still ongoing. It is ending. So it's still the latest chapters now. This is like the beginning of the final war arc. And
so.
now it's on like
Just
almost the end of the war
just
arc
to
in the
be clear,
manga.
Shirley follows the manga and I don't.
I follow
So she
manga.
knows what's gonna happen and I
I know
don't.
what
So I'm
happens.
using my way of breaking down a story to really get
Yeah.
some
The funny
make some
thing is
sense of it.
when we were watching the episode, you were like, "Does she die? Does she die?"
I like wanted to know, but then I don't really want to know because I'm just gonna be tight and I'm gonna enjoy the show.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, just watch the fucking episode and then get into the second episode later when it comes out next Saturday." I'm like, "Girl, just watch the show. I'm not gonna tell you because I have spoiled Christy on certain things. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of things.
Actually, a lot of things.
Yeah. Which is a sad thing because then I get depressed.
It's a lot of shit is going down in season 7.
I know
a lot of shit because I know I'm like
and I'm
on the
so
latest
emotionally
chapters.
Attached to this show. It's not even funny.
This is a great show. This is probably the best superhero content, or like TV show or even movie that's out there.
And
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
to say,
lie.
and I've seen a lot of superhero content. You can Sailor Moon, X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. Growing up, this has to be number 1 in my books.
Yeah, it's funny. I watched 2 episodes of Sailor Moon. I have to get back into watching it because it's so fucking funny, Sailor Moon. Now you're making me think.
Now it's funny, right?
Now you're making me think of Tuxedo Mask and how he throws fucking roses. And then he's like, "My job here is done. I'm out. Peace out."
And that's all he does.
And that's all he does. And like, God, what's Sailor Moon's real name? I'm totally forgetting her name.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm forgetting her name. And she's just standing there like, "Oh my God, he's so hot." And I'm like,
that's his job, is to look hot, because then that motivates her, inspires her. You know what I'm saying?
And she's a young girl, so I feel her. Like, I'm like, she could think that. But I'm like, why the hell? That's all he does is just fucking throw the rose and stand there to look hot. I'm like, help her out. She's doing most of the work. What the fuck you doing?
But I like Stars and Stripes because she's doing a lot of the work, but she has her team behind her and the fighter jets.
She does. I like that she had a couple people behind her, like, all right, let's do this. And she was like, yeah, I'll take your shit back when we all die. I'm like, I was like, whoa, okay. I guess that's just how it is.
Exactly.
I'm like, all right. But no, the fight scenes were dope as hell, and I'm excited.
She's a badass. She's a badass.
She's dope.
Female superhero? Is that how she identifies?
Yeah, she's a superhero. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no, she's dope. I can't wait for the next episode.
I felt like this episode went by so quick.
It went by quick.
Like, what?
It went by quick. And then there was we wanted to talk about. I mentioned like the animation thing. And like we were watching, I was like, does the animation look different, or am I bugging out?
Well, the coloring looked a little brighter in a way,
right?
Yeah, and
it's probably other details. I just don't know animation like that. So like,
I noticed that the color looked brighter, kind of maybe, to indicate a new beginning in a way. Although the fighting is still on, but there's still new hope.
But their face model, like whatever,
so?
like the. Look different too. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it looked kind of different too.
I could see
like
your point because they did change it in one season.
Yeah, it looked more mature. I don't know.
Well, they are older.
They are older.
So
they're supposed to be in their second year of high school. So like 16, 17. So yeah, so they're supposed to be older and stuff like that.
I'm excited to see how they're gonna be using Spinner.
Yes, I want to get into that.
The face of the
heteromorph.
The
calls, of the heteromorph calls.
And what's the heteromorph again?
So basically, they're like non-presenting humans, I guess. That's like they're very discriminated in society because they don't look how humans look to society. That they deem like, oh, this looks normal in a sense, whatever fuck normal is, but like that's what so they are faced with discrimination, and so Spinner, of course, is part of that community, and now, of course, all for one. Sorry, I'm like confusing. Like, all for one wants to be like, oh, you're very loyal to Tomo Shigaraki because they're in love now. Just just,
I don't know. Well,
but no,
something underlining,
but
underlining there.
but he's very supportive of Tomo Shigaraki Spinner. So one for all, like, all for one sees that, and so he wants to be like, okay, I give you more, like, to do more,
I
to
think
do something
he
important.
sees that, but he's really using Spinner.
He's using Spinner pretty much to get the heteromorphs to like fight his cause.
Yeah, and this is why I like this show so much. Not only because of the emotional depth, but the author is very in tune with social, societal issues, and he brings it out in a show in a unique way.
Which sucks because All for One doesn't give a shit about what the heteromorphs are going through.
No, they don't.
He just wants power for himself. It's All for One. That's pretty much in his name. Exactly. So he's just using these actual real life important causes, like the heteromorphs, what they're fighting for totally fucking makes sense, and it is right, because they should be treated with respect and dignity in society. So he's twisting that, and it's like how it is in the real world, in a sense, like people will use that against people and stuff like that when the cause is right and important. Yeah. And people will use that, especially who want power for their own gain. Be like,
and it's sadly sad. It's sad. So yeah. I'm gonna be really like sad during the episodes because he's using these people. But anyways, we're gonna get to that point later. Let's get into the music.
Yeah, there was new music, the opening and the ending. I like the opening. TK has a really cool ass voice. He has like a very like rock voice, but it's like it goes really high. That's the singer for the opening song. I don't know what the song is. Tagadami? I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. Tagadami. That's the opening name of the song. And I really like it because of the singer's voice, because it's very rock and like very like, I don't know, I feel like it's raw but very high too. Yeah. And I like the visuals of like when Deku's like fucking running and they're all like backing him up, and I think that shit is dope. Like cool. When they're all backing him up and shit like that.
But I like the high fives.
The high fives.
That was so cute.
Yeah, that was cute. I love that Mineta looked like shit. Like, we need to kill that kid. No offense. Oh, damn. I hate Mineta. Mineta's a shitty ass character. But, that's another thing I had criticism is Mineta. Oh, jeez. But, not really getting into it right now. But, then there's the ending. And the ending, I like the ending more because of the visual. The song is good too. But the visuals, like, is like very like connected to what's going on in the manga in a sense. Yeah. A little bit more like spoilerly. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably fucking making up a word right now. Because I know what's going on. You don't really know what's going on. So you're like, the cherry blossoms, they come up in a couple of chapters. Like somebody's grabbing a cherry blossom that's falling, like one of the petals. And that's actually in one of the chapters in the manga.
And so that's why the song is called Subomi.
Yeah, Subomi.
Which means bud.
Bud, yeah, you looked it up. So I was like, oh shit, that makes sense, because that was actually in the chapters. And it was an older hand too. And people were like speculating, like, who's that older hand? Is it All Might? Because when he's a senior, a little bit more, because he is a senior, but a little bit more older, because it was a way older hand. So it was interesting because in that chapter, it was just that person grabbing the petal, and then it went into something else. So it was like, what does that mean? Like, it was like foreshadowing something, or that like a scene from the future. So I found that interesting. And yeah, so the ending has a couple scenes that's like, oh shit, like Ochako, when she's happy seeing that superhero. We've seen that scene in a couple episodes earlier in the seasons. Um when she sees the hero that she likes. I forgot the hero's name, but and she gets happy, but that is kind of connected to Toga, and she has. I can't wait for you to see those scenes with Toga in this season. I don't know if it's this season or next season. Like when we get to that fight,
Yeah.
because that chapters of fight between Toga and Chaco were fucking great.
I'm ready.
I say
for
that's
it.
probably one of the best.
I'm ready for it because we haven't really had a female fight.
No, yeah, it's fucking dope.
Except for
I
now,
was
Stars and
like,
Stripes, but I mean like a female against a female.
yeah, but it's so much more than just them fighting. It was like just revelations of like feelings, and I really loved it. I thought those chapters were dope. Of course, Bakugo's chapters. It shows the All Might card because he's like, you kind of know what happens because I told you what happens.
Yeah.
But it's very spoilery if you don't know. So you see the All Might card. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of connected to Bakugo and what happens and shit like that. So, and then you see the trauma of like what Shoto went through, the beatings from his dad Endeavor, who's a shitbag. But and you see like the older Shoto like looking down at who got kicked by his dad or punched by his dad and stuff like that. When he was like 5 years old and stuff. So you see those like, oh, these are like important like scenes that are spoilerly, like a little bit spoilerly, that of what's coming up in the later chapters, because Shoto has to fight Dabi, and those scenes of that fight scenes are crazy dope too.
Really? Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
so those are really
Can
good
you
as well.
Having to fight your own brother like that?
Yeah, and of course Bakugo ends up fighting somebody, and then he ends up fighting somebody else. That's like, but we don't want to get into it. But yeah, no, they're both really good. The opening and ending.
There was very little previews, but what do you think is gonna happen? Because you already know.
I fucking already know what's gonna happen. But I do want to see how the fight scene between Stars and Stripes and Shigaraki concludes, because I'm now remembering what happens in the manga little by little, because since we're so like far in the chapters, we're like on 422 in the manga chapters.
Wow.
So these were early. So now going back, I'm like, oh, I'm remembering the manga chapters when these came out. So it's dope to see how it is animated.
So this is what I'm hoping for, that she's going to set him back a couple of months so that he needs to recuperate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mess him up. You know what I'm saying? Because if she can't beat him, because we know.
I'm not going to say no. I'll say yeah.
Yo, I just want her to beat him up. That's it.
It was cute.
Boost him up a little bit, yo. This motherfucker needs to learn a lesson, yo.
You're so stupid. But it's true. It's true. It's just sad with Shigaraki because he's been groomed and abused, and it's just like it's a fucking mess.
It is sad.
It is
that
pretty.
Doesn't mean you don't need a little.
No. I'm definitely not forgiving the shit that he's done, because that's not what you do. You understand what people go through, but you never forgive something that's like awful, like killing people and shit like that.
Yeah, that's fucking awful.
Like, so, but yeah, it's still very sad and stuff. But yeah, that's basically our review of season 7, episode 1, Stars and Stripes. I'm saying episode 1 because this is season 7.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode number this is.
Right. But if you want to get like butterflies in your stomach, because Stars and Stripes did that for me as she was fighting.
She was so hot. She was hot. But yeah, it was really. I'm so fucking excited for season 7. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. Shit, I can't wait.
The only thing that I have to say as far as critique-wise, criticism, is that Shigaraki was hella explaining her quirk for too long. I was like, all right.
That part, I was like, okay.
I mean, I'm trying to. Yeah, I get understand. He was trying to do like an analysis of her, quirk, to understand her quirk. But I was like, yeah. let's move on. Let's get to the fight. You just don't want to fight. What's up? You scared?
Like, it's like, okay, we gotta explain this, okay? Because kids do watch this show. It's a kid show ultimately, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I
So,
forgot.
but no, yeah, it was a little long. I was like, all right, let's get to the point. But even then, I don't even know how to explain her power that well, as you could tell earlier. But no, it was great. I loved it. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see what's gonna happen. I can't wait for the chapters to come out in the manga because we are getting there to the end, and it is fucking sad, bittersweet. But I'm also like, shit, I can't wait.
Exactly.
But
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for listening. To Kika's chat, I'm Shirley.
I'm Christy.
And yeah, check us out on YouTube and Apple Podcast. And we're gonna have more episodes coming out about My Hero in particular, but we're gonna have episodes reviewing movies we recently watched too. Just getting back in the flow of recording again because life was busy and now we're just like, damn, we saw a lot of good movies and we want to chat about it. And now My Hero's back, so let's talk about it.
Exactly.
But yeah, so thank you for listening. Have a good night. Adios.